Welcome to the Archer Shaw Temple Podcast, teachings for sovereign awakening, sacred union, and embodied devotion. I'm Christopher Shaw, here with Aeon Archer. May this transmission meet you exactly where you are and open the next doorway on your path. Let us begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome for those who are here on Zoom. Welcome to those who are listening to our podcast or viewing us on YouTube Live. We are so grateful that you're here with us today. You know, I am fire and Aeon is water, and it's so beautiful because sometimes my fire can be a little hot and I need his water to, and vice versa, right? It's good to have balance. So today we're going to speak about something that's older than any religion, older than any scripture, and older than civilization itself. Fire, fuego. Before temples were built of stone, before sacred texts were written, before priests or teachers ever stood before a congregation, human beings gathered around fire. Fire was the first altar. It was the first teacher. It was the first place humanity encountered the sacred. And perhaps most importantly, fire was the first place humanity learned to sit together in the light. Long before philosophy, long before theology, our ancestors understood something simple and profound. Where there is fire, there is life. Where there is fire, there is warmth. And where there is fire, there is light in the darkness. And Friday night, beneath the stars, on the edge of the ocean, that ancient truth revealed itself again. We were holding an all-night ceremony on the beach at a turtle sanctuary inside a nature preserve overlooking the Bay of Banderas. The ocean stretched out into the darkness. Across the water, the lights of Puerto Vallarta shimmered like an intergalactic city across the bay. Above us, the night sky. Around us, the living earth. And at the center of the circle, the fire. Aeon and I were facilitating this ceremony together as we do, and in our partnership, in our lives, and in our work, two elemental forces appear again and again. Like I said, I hold the fire, Aeon carries the water. Fire and water, transformation and flow, illumination and compassion, structure and surrender. These forces are not opposites, they are sacred partners in the architecture of life. Fire transforms and water heals. Fire illuminates, but water carries. And when these forces move together in harmony, healing begins to flow and transformation becomes possible. So at the beginning of the ceremony, another brother had been assigned the role of tending the fire. But as the medicine began to open, he went very deep into his journey. And in that moment, something became really clear to me. He should not have to hold the fire. He should be free to go wherever the medicine was taking him. So I stepped forward and took the role, not because it was planned, but because this is how sacred leadership actually appears, quietly, without announcement, and without title. Someone simply steps forward and says, I will hold the fire. This is the nature of real leadership. It's not domination or control, but service to the container. Sometimes the deepest act of love is allowing another person to journey while you remain present, holding the center. Throughout the night, I would walk slowly over to the wood pile, which was slightly to the left side of the circle, not rushing and not grabbing, but approaching the wood pile with reverence, because every piece of wood had once been a living tree. Every log carried the memory of sunlight, the memory of rain, the memory of wind moving through branches beneath the sky. But it carried something else too. The fire carries the history of humanity. For hundreds of thousands of years, human beings have gathered around fire. We've prayed around it. We've cooked around it. We've mourned and celebrated around it. We've told stories and laughed around it. Entire civilizations were built around the circle of fire. So when you approach the fire, you are not simply approaching the flame. You're approaching an ancient teacher, a wisdom older than language. So, at the pile of wood, I would slowly place my hands on each piece of wood, one piece at a time, listening, feeling, waiting, until one seemed to say, "Me, take me." And I would lift that log into my arms and I would hold it against my chest, heart to wood, life touching life. And in that moment, I would offer gratitude. Standing at the edge of the circle, gratitude to the tree that once stood rooted in the earth, gratitude to the sun that nourished it, and gratitude to the earth that sustained it. I would stand there at the edge of the fire for several minutes, praying with that log in my arms before ever putting it into the fire. Because nothing was being taken lightly. Everything was being offered. I would then kneel before the flames, whispering my prayers into the log, breathing my breath into this tree of life, quiet, listening. Because the fire has its own intelligence. It has its own rhythm. It has its own wisdom. And I would ask the fire where the wood piece belonged. And then gently, slowly, I would place the log into the flames. Afterwards, I would offer ghee and copal to the fire, feeding the fire as our ancestors have done for thousands of years. And in that moment, you realize the wood is not the only thing entering the fire. I was offering something of myself, our prayers, our presence, our souls. And when that offering enters the flame, something ancient happens. The fire receives it with love. It transforms it. It illuminates the world with it. This is the mystery of our ancestor, that our ancestors understood, that whatever enters the flame becomes illumination. Wood becomes light, prayer becomes energy, and devotion becomes blessing. And if you sit beside that fire long enough, something begins to happen inside of you. The mind becomes quiet. The heart becomes open. And the fire begins to revealing its teachings, not through words, but through presence, through warmth, and through the silent miracle of transformation unfolding before your eyes. Wood becoming flame, flame becoming light, and light rising into the night sky. And in that moment, you remember something ancient. The fire is not just burning in front of you, the fire is burning within you. This is the truth our ancestors carried across generations. Fire, it's not just an element, it's a messenger. Thousands of years ago, the Vedic sages understood this. They called the sacred fire Agni. And Agni was not simply flame, it was the messenger between worlds, the priest of sacrifice, the carrier of prayers, and the bridge between the human and the divine. In the ancient Vedic ceremonies, offerings were placed into the fire and carried upward by Agni into the divine realm. Ghee, grains, sacred woods, prayers, and intentions. Everything offered into the flame rose upward through the fire, and the fire became the mouth of the divine, receiving the offerings of humanity and carrying them beyond the visible world. And the sages understood something extraordinary. The fire does not only carry physical offerings, it carries transformation. When wood enters the flame, it becomes light. When prayer enters the flame, it becomes energy. And when devotion enters the flame, it becomes blessing. Agni teaches the sacred law of existence. What we offer into the fire becomes light. The sages also spoke of three fires within the architecture of life. The first is our ceremonial fire, the visible flame on the altar, the fire that gathers the community and teaches transformation. The second is the fire of the heart. And the third is the cosmic fire, the fire that burns in the sun, the fire that shines in the stars, and the fire that animates the entire universe. The sages realized that these three separate fires are actually not separate at all. The ceremonial fire, the fire of the heart, and the cosmic fire of creation, they are all the same flame expressed at different scales. The fire on the altar is the same fire that burns in the stars, and it is the same fire that burns inside of you. And this is why tending the fire matters, because humanity is entering a new chapter. There is a new consciousness emerging on Earth. But the new Earth will not be built by ideas alone. It will be built by people who remember how to tend the fire. People who protect the flame of love, people who keep the warmth of community alive, and people who feed the light of truth in times of darkness. This is the calling of the Firekeeper. And whether you realize it or not, every one of you listening today has been called to that role. This is the vision of Merkaba Temple, a world where humanity lives in alignment with its divine essence, a world rooted in love, unity, remembrance, and sacred service, a world where spirit, earth, and humanity move in harmony once again, where every heart becomes a sanctuary, every life becomes a legacy of light, and every act becomes a blessing in service to the divine. This is the new earth, and it begins with a single flame, the one burning in your heart. Let us close in prayer. Divine light, sacred fire of creation, the flame that burns in the stars, the flame that burns in the heart, the flame that burns in every living being, we thank you for the sacred fire that transformed darkness into light. May we become worthy keepers of that flame. May our lives be offerings of love. May our actions bring warmth to those who are cold. And may our presence bring light to those walking through darkness. Guide us in sacred service, strengthen our hearts with courage, and fill our spirits with devotion. And remind us always that the same fire that burns in the cosmos burns within all of us. May we tend it with humility. May we share it with compassion. And may its light illuminate the path for generations to come. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Anaye Namaha. Om Guru Om. Amen. Aho. Ashe. And so it is. Aeon will now lead us into meditation so that each of you can sit beside the sacred fire within your own heart and remember the flame you came here to tend. My love.
Om Namah Shivaya. Are you sure I'm water? All right.
Your
everyone.
water comes out of my eyes.
It does. All right, let's take a moment. Let us gently close our eyes, allowing the body to relax. I invite you to take a slow, deep breath in through the nose, and an even slower exhale through the mouth. Again, deep breath in and release. One more time, arriving fully in the body. Deep breath in. And gently release. Allow the breath to soften and find its natural rhythm. Feel the weight of your body supported by the earth beneath you. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just simply arrive here fully. Now imagine yourself in a quiet place in nature at night. The sky above you is vast and filled with stars. The air is calm and the world is quiet. And in front of you, there is a sacred fire. This fire is steady. The flames are glowing, rising from the earth. This is the fire Christopher spoke about. The ancient fire. The same fire that humanity has gathered around for thousands of years. Begin to notice the warmth of this fire. The soft and gentle movement of the flames. And the quiet crackle of the wood. Allow yourself to sit beside this fire, just as our ancestors once did. Breathing slowly, listening deeply, watching the flame. Now begin to realize something. This fire is not separate from you. This sacred flame represents the fire within your own heart. The fire of life. The fire of love. The fire of courage. The fire of your soul's purpose. Feel that flame glowing gently in the center of your chest. A warm, steady light, alive, sacred, eternal. With each breath, imagine the flame growing slightly brighter. Not intense, not overwhelming, just steady, warm, alive. This is the inner fire the sages spoke about, the fire of the heart. The same fire that burns in the sun, the same fire that shines in the stars, the same fire that lives within every being. Take a moment to feel this connection. Your heart, the fire before you, the fire of the cosmos. All part of the same living flame. Now imagine gently placing something into the fire. Something you are ready to release. Perhaps a fear, perhaps doubt, perhaps something that has been weighing on your heart. Offer it to the fire. Watch as the flame receives it and transforms it into light. Feel the warmth of that light spreading through your chest softening, opening, expanding. Now allow the fire to grow slightly brighter, not just within you, but everywhere. Imagine the flame of your heart connecting with the flames of the hearts of every person in this community. Every person listening, every person walking the path of awakening. Small flames connecting, growing, becoming a field of light. A living network of hearts tending the sacred fire together. This is how the new earth is born. One heart remembering its flame, then another, until the light spreads across the world. Take a slow, deep breath in and release, feeling the warmth of the sacred fire within your heart, knowing that this flame is always with you. It cannot be extinguished. It only asks to be tended, to be nourished with love, with truth, with service, with devotion. When you are ready, begin to bring your awareness back to your body, back to this moment, feeling the breath, feeling the room around you. Gently wiggle the fingers and toes, and when it feels right, slowly open your eyes. The fire is still here, and so are you. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you. That was beautiful meditation.
Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you.
Ah. All right. Before we close today, I'd love to share a brief moment, heart to heart, about our temple. So Merkaba Temple exists because we choose to build it together. There are no corporations behind this, no institutions funding it. It lives because people like you show up, participate, and support the space so it can continue to serve others. If these gatherings nourish you, if this temple helps you return to yourself each week, then giving is simply a way of participating in what we're building together. So if you feel called, please take out your phone now, open Venmo, and type Merkaba Temple, or visit merkabatemple.com/donate to use PayPal or credit card or other ways. Your offering supports our broadcasts, our gatherings, and retreat scholarships for those who need support. Give what feels true, give what feels clean, and thank you for helping our temple exist.
Thank you for being here with us at Archer Shaw Temple. If something in this teaching helped your body soften or brought you back into yourself, let it keep moving. Share it with someone who's ready. This temple is sustained through conscious participation, through those who feel the resonance and choose to support the work from clarity, not pressure. If you feel called into right exchange, you're welcome to support the mission on Venmo at Merkaba Temple, all one word. And if you'd like to go deeper, you can schedule a complimentary soul alignment session at archershaw.guru. Until next time, take care of your nervous system, walk gently, and stay close to what's true.